Atta agrees to Akufo Addo's advice to come home. Now, it's not a secret now that the all-white wearing, Bible-quoting Ken Ofori Atta is in the grips of the law in America. Ken Ofori Atta was finance minister for the Republic of Ghana for at least 7 solid years. Ken Ofori Atta is a man who the Ghanaian authorities refer to as a fugitive, somebody running from justice. We have had people picket right at the American embassy for 2 days running now. Arise Ghana. And the message is clear. Ken Ofori Atta must come home. Ken Ofori Atta was sick 2 times in his tenure of office. The first time, my brother, my sister, he was flown all the way outside this country when he suffered from COVID. And on arrival in America and England, where he was seeking medical attention, he asked Ghanaians to pray for him. And God listened to the prayers of Ghanaians. He returned home. And then his own uncle, his own cousin, got angry with him. They wanted him out. Ken must go. Now, the economy started going truly bad, terribly bad. His first tenure of office wasn't too bad, but the second tenure was so abysmal. It was disastrous. And everybody wanted Ken out. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo wanted him out as well. Gabby Asare otchere darko, a cousin of the president, also spoke to Ken Ofori Atta and told him, Ken, in fact, you are not feeling too well now. Please exit so that another person will take over. Ken got angry with this guy and stopped talking to him for over 1 year. Ken was angry with Nana Akufo Addo as well for even listening to that kind of conversation that he, Ken Ofori Atta, must exit. He drove straight to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo's house and he told him, I hear you are telling people that you want me to hand over the finance ministry to another man. I will need you to remember what we did when we came into power. Remember, Setepe was going round saying that he was wondering how your government was even going to be able to pay salaries. It took me, Ken Ofori Atta, to rally round, talk to my friends on the Wall Street to be able to get money. Remember when we needed money in order to deal with the banks and the banking system? I was the one who rallied round. And you were even surprised. If anything at all, if you want me to exit, not this disgracefully. And Nana Addo asked him, but this is not disgraceful. You have played your role so well. You have done very well. But at this point, it looks like every Ghanaian is saying the economy has taken a downward trend. Please, I think it is just good advice that you exit while the applause is the loudest. Ken took offense and said, not this way. You must stand by me. When everybody says sack him, you must stand by me. And when everywhere goes calm, then I can decide to move on. That will be honorable, rather than sacking me in the middle of all this noise. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo listened to him. But this was what broke the camel's back. Come here! Now hear this. Now Ken Ofori Atta, my brother, my sister, was in trouble. What kind of trouble was it? The MPs at the time, The NPP MPs all gathered and they were singing one chorus. Ken must go. Ken must go. And it looked like the president had no choice but to do the bidding of the MPs who were threatening that if Ken did not go, they would not do government business. Nana Addo had to beg them and tell them to at least allow Ken to read the budget and do a few other things before exiting. It was all to buy time for Ken himself to save his face before going away. And it happened. Ken was promoted. Many Ghanaians were not happy. So when Ken finally left office, a couple of days before the new government was sworn in, we were told, he knew that he was not coming back. One, he was angry with the President of the Republic for daring to suggest to him that he should vacate his post for another man to take. And two, his own cousin, Gabby Asare also seemed to put family ties away and stand with the institution, the nation, and ask Ken to honorably take a back burner. Ken wasn't happy, so he left. When he left, it didn't take long before people started clamoring, asking for Ken to return home. The OSP wanted him to come home to face justice. The OSP was still talking with the lawyers, and all of a sudden, he was declared a fugitive to the chagrin of the lawyers of Ken Ofori Atta. And Ken said, you see what they are doing to me. They are talking to my lawyers. They know where I am. They know I am sick. But they have still put me in the list of fugitives. They want to disgrace me. I won't come home. Come here and dash it away. Now, my brother, my sister, Ken Ofori Atta made up his mind that he was not coming home. One, he was angry with Nana Akufo Addo for daring to even think of replacing him, reshuffling. He was angry with Gabby Asare otchere for daring to come to him and ask him to exit so another man would take over. So when he left, he cut all ties with these two very important people in our politics, and he decided to live in America. The rest is history. When we wanted him to come home, finally, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and all the institutions necessary in this case had to come together and force Ken to return home. And when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo realized that it was so heated, everyone was pointing fingers at his government and also at Ken Ofori Atta, he decided to fly to the United States of America to meet with Ken Ofori Atta. Come here! And when he arrived, he went straight to Ken and he told him, my brother, the way Ghanaians are speaking ill about you is not good, and I know you are innocent. Come home so that you can face justice. Come home, defend yourself, because we know that you are without blame. Please come home. Nana Addo used this as an opportunity to patch up with his own cousin. And what happened? They sat down together and Ken told him point blank when Nana Addo visited him in America, I will only come home, and I will come home only if I get my residence in America. That's what Ken told Nana Addo. I will come, but I don't trust this government. I'm not afraid of prosecution. I am only afraid of persecution. I want to go home, but not without my American papers. Wow. Let me get my papers. And once I get my papers, I will voluntarily come home. My brother, my sister, he waited and waited to get his papers. There were two ways he could have had his papers. Trump had his golden card, whatever, paying between $500,000 American dollars and $1 million American dollars. Could give you that card, let alone $5 million American dollars. And Ken could afford $5 million American dollars. And I'm telling you things deep. Remember where you heard it first. My brother, my sister. Now Ken Ofori Atta waited and waited whilst the OSP continued backing. Oh, red alert, yellow alert, green alert. Oh, we are looking for Ken, fugitive, non-fugitive, immigrant, non-immigrant. All the jargons were flying in our faces. And we heard that. Ken was making plans to get his papers. The doctor had passed him. He should go home and recuperate. But he was waiting, not for his doctor's advice anymore, but for his American papers. He certainly wanted to return home, but he wanted to be able to get the American papers before returning home. And I will tell you what that will mean to Ken. My brother, my sister, now watch this. As Ken was waiting for his papers and the papers were delaying, he decided to let his son file for him. And his son truly filed for him. And we told you the whole story, so we are not repeating it. When his son decided to do it for his father, it didn't take long. Bam! Eyes was on him. FBI and all the other agencies, 5 in number. They arrested him because the Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Republic of Ghana had done his own gymnastics around the American authorities and initiated a certain forcible removal of Ken Ofori Atta from the American jurisdiction. Wow. And he got the authorities to do same. They latched on to Ken Ofori Atta, picked him up, and his lawyer said, oh, he's almost getting his papers. His son is here. But he doesn't have the papers. Right now, he must go home. My brother, my sister, it was then that Ken Ofori Atta realized that maybe he should have listened to the advice of his cousin, Nana Addo Akufo Addo, and returned home whilst they were working to get his papers ready. Can I tell you another thing? Now, Ken Ofori Atta could have just paid even $5 million to the Trump administration. But his fear was that it will come out that a former minister of the Republic of Ghana, not just any other minister, but the Minister of Finance, had paid that amount of money when his tenure of office was so shaky and embroiled in a lot of controversies, including corruption. He didn't want his name to be in that kind of controversy. So he decided to go through his son. Unfortunately, that takes long. As he was marking time and pussyfooting, waiting for the right time, the hands of ice caught him in the middle of the caboodle. And today, as we speak, he is at the Caroline Detention Center. He is most uncomfortable. We all saw him appear in court yesterday. And he was supposed to be listened to in camera. And that means privately. he wore the prison jacket. And if you look at him properly, you look at his right hand, he's wearing something in there because the weather is cold. I pray this man doesn't die in prison. Mark my words. My prayer is that Ken Ofori Atta doesn't die in prison. The weather is extremely cold at this time. This guy is not in the comfort of his mansion where he could just jump into any sauna and warm up his body. He is in a detention center. And he has confided in his lawyers that he's most uncomfortable. In fact, and when you look at him, he has aged more than 20 times his age. This is Ken Ofori Atta. Wearing his prison garments. He never thought that he would do this. My brother, he prefers wearing the American prison stroke detention garments to wearing the Ghana prison garments. He is in America. Now what happened yesterday? Come here! Ken Ofori Atta, overly aging and looking very sickly and confused, with all the money dancing in his accounts. My brother, my sister, does not want to come to Ghana. His lawyers met with the authorities. And what was it about yesterday? They only wanted him to be taken out of the detention center so that at least he could go home on bail. They call it the bond. So that once he gets home, they will continue listening to his case, whether he should go home or stay. But the American authorities, I'm going to tell you something interesting. And remember where you heard it first. Ken Ofori Atta has demonstrated very bad faith. He was told to leave from July, that he must leave by the end of November. But he refused, stood against American law and advice, and stayed in the country. Despite the American authorities telling him to leave the country, he had options. He could have gone to Canada, he could have gone to England, but his lawyers made him believe that he could stay, fight his case, and also get the required papers and stay in America because his son is in America. This was what he wanted to hear. The lawyers had spoken to him severally to go back to Ghana, and they would make sure that he had a clean passage into the country and everything would be okay. But he didn't want to hear that. And he stayed in America and demonstrated enough bad faith to the American system. Do you think the American system would say, okay, we will still give you that bond that you want, what we call a bail? My brother, my sister, go home whilst we listen to your case. And remember, what they are listening to is not about him coming home or staying in America. It's about him leaving the detention center because he's so uncomfortable. He can't eat steaks, chichinga. He can't eat pizza in there. He can't drink warm Argentine milk. No. He is very uncomfortable. So the lawyers want to get him out whilst he waits for the authorities to decide whether he would go home or stay there. Now, my brother, my sister, he would go back in February and they will listen to the case and finally tell him whether they will allow him to leave the detention center or not. He's been there for less than 1 month. He's going to wait for another 1 month. If less than 1 month has had a toll on him like this, then you can imagine what would happen to him after another 1 month in that same detention camp. Very terrible. Can I tell you more? His real case is going to be listened to in April, towards the end. That is when the authorities will now decide whether he goes home or stays in America. April 27. And that's the news card, the court card. It says Ken Ofori Atta to reappear in U.S. court on April 27, 2026. This is January, February, March, April. If they don't succeed in getting him out of the detention center, to go home and wait till April 27 for his case to be heard, Ken Ofori Atta will continue to be in that detention camp like a common criminal for all these months. He's going to forfeit his comfort. He won't eat the steaks anymore. He won't drink the warm Argentine milk that is his favorite. He has a special kind of coffee that he drinks. He won't get it in that prison. It is not there. My brother, my sister, and Ken Ofori Atta gets regular massages. In a week, he gets at least 2 massages. He can't get it in prison. Maybe from a gay guy who will comfortably give him that massage for a fee. In fact, the fee would be in kind. This is Ken Ofori Atta. Come here! Now, my brother, my sister, this is where the problem is. Now that Ken is going to reappear on the 27th of April, for the final thing to be decided, he has a very good chance of telling the court that he will self-deport. And even with that, they will give him 3,000 American dollars for free. I hear now they have even increased it, at least for him to buy brudo on the way to come to Ghana. But Ken has told Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo that he will never come to Ghana until he has his American papers. And he didn't go to take advantage of the golden key. Or is it a golden card or golden stone from the Trump administration? He could have just paid for it. But he didn't want controversies. Ken Ofori Atta has paid millions in order to stay in America. He would use his son. And today, our brother, the biggest fugitive in Ghana's history of politics, is here. Is he saying these words to himself? I wish I had listened to my own cousin, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, who sat in a plane, flew all the way to America to beg his own cousin. Ken, minim say you are not guilty. Brafie, we are a family of lawyers from Se Ofori Atta. Yanana, there's no way we will sit down and watch you suffer like that. Please, come. But remember, there was already bad blood between him and Ken Ofori and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, and of course, Gabby asare otchere darko. And can I tell you one more thing before I go? The ambassador of Ghana to America, his name is Victor Emmanuel Smith. He's a very good friend of Ken Ofori Atta. He's a good friend of Gabby asare otchere darko. He's a good friend of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. He's from Ebuakwa. Achin, they are friends. Remember where you are hearing this first. My brother, when he decided to go officially to visit Ken Ofori Atta, he turned that down. That is not news, is it? It's been told several times. But what you don't know is this thing that I'm telling you. He decided that, okay, now I am not going in the capacity of the Ghana embassy. I'm coming to you as an Achim brother. I'm from a Boakye, just like you. Mi baba srao, we are minuya. Say we are being. Member, me here, wow. And Victor Emmanuel Smith folded his hands in front of him. The Demrefim shook his head. I said, well, there's not much I can do. One thing is clear. The Americans, and I'm telling you this in prediction, you can call it a prophecy. If you are not religious or spiritual, call it a prediction. Ken will not be given that bail bond. Two important reasons. One, he breached the American system, the American immigration law intentionally. For us Ghanaians, he can tell us he's sick. But he can't say that to the Americans because the doctors will prove to you that no, you have been cleared. So he's not even talking about sickness now. They gave him the opportunity to self-deport quietly. By the end of November last year, he decided not to do it. He believed in horses and chariots rather than the biblical God that he told us he believed in. That's one reason. Now, the second reason is this. In fact, Ghana and America have a very good relationship. There are some people here who have to be sent to America. Do you remember the Abu Trika case? Do you remember when the Attorney General said, oh, the other two, they can go? And the judge who sat in for the substantive judge said, hey, let the two continue to be here till the substantive judge comes. It's not ordinary. It's a high-profile case. The hands of the FBI are in there. The whole of the American immigration and other agencies are interested in that issue. So if you make a wrong move, trouble. Much as the Attorney General says freedom, nobody wants to annoy the Americans. So Ken is in a very tight corner. I'm sure by now he wished he had paid for that golden key. Or is it a golden stone? So that, yes, let his name be spoiled. Can I tell you one more thing before I go? We have too much information. Come here! Are you aware that when people were asked to declare their property before joining politics, declare your wealth? Do you know how much Ken Ofori Atta declared? Over 200 million American dollars. Before he got into politics, he had 200 million American dollar worth of wealth. Remember where you are hearing it for the first time. When it was said, come and declare your wealth before you come into power like Muhammad did. Some people were declaring one house, some 10 cocks, 4 bulls, and a certain motorbike. Ken Ofori Atta declared 200 million American dollars. He was the richest minister ever in the history of Ghana. Take it or leave it. This is authoritative. Ken Ofori Atta declared a worth of over 200 million American dollars before he got into politics. He has companies and banks spread across 10 African countries. Data bank. He has banks offshore, onshore. My brother, my sister, this is Ken Ofori Atta. $5 million American dollars is nothing to him, let alone $1 million. He could have just bought it. But they say, when the monkey is destined to die, all the trees in the forest become slippery. Can I repeat it? When the monkey is destined to die, that day, all the trees in the forest, they become slippery. Healer, heal thyself. Akufo Addo tried to bring him home. Gabby tried to bring him home. They even begged. Bruh. He said, I won't come till I have my American papers. And the American papers might only chase him to Ghana if he's lucky. Can I predict one more time? They are going to refuse him the so-called bail bond. He will stay there till the 27th of April. And on that day, things would happen. Ghanaians shall jubilate.
In terms of sentiment, okay, so we'll analyze from two perspectives. You are looking at what happens in the courtroom, and then you're also looking at public perception, so the court of public opinion. Obviously, Ken has brought this upon himself, right? By absconding, what he's done is that he's opened himself. Yes, so he's opened himself to so much opprobrium. People would, throw all manner of abuses, etc. at him. Because once he was finance minister, he ensured that the current governor of the Bank of Ghana, Esiama, Raymond Amanfo, etc., were prosecuted over the banking sector debacle. Yes, Ofori Atta. Ofori Atta, I'm saying, yes, it's him. It's him. Everything shows. It's him. Even there is a tape.
Even the Ato Forson prosecution. Yes. Those of us who were close to the case believe that he was a mastermind.
Not just believe.
Because of Ato Forson's advocacy.
Yes.
So they have masterminds.
Oh, okay. Listen. Mr. Forson, you've forgotten that Godfrey Dami admitted it on the tape. He said Ofori Atta and Akufo Addo were on his neck to make sure that Ato Forson is prosecuted and convicted so that there will be a rerun. So that is what Ken... Exactly. So he brought... He who lives by the sword would die by the sword. He caused this. He caused this.
Confessed, and we had evidence to that effect. He should have been removed from office.
Yes. But the tape was played here.
No.
The tape was played in court.
I am not saying that it was right, but upon such information, if it had reached the president, you should have removed him.
By national security fees, the president. Yes, that's what we're saying. But the president was very happy with Godfrey Dami. Godfrey Dami is his beloved, this is son. That is what this Akufo Addo likes. Also, I say Etiwa, Yechiro Kakrebi. Akufo Addo likes violence. He says Etiwa. Oh, he said it. He said Etiwa violence. Yechiro Kakrebi.
Let's not digress.
Has he ever apologized for it?
You were making the point before.
He said Etiwa violence. Yechiro Kakrebi. It's all Akufo Addo who said it. You can Google it. When the violence in the by-election, I don't
want you to digress. You were making the point.
Yes, and so Apia Kubi's point is that if Akufo Addo had heard about the tape was admitted in evidence in court, where Godfrey Dami said Akufo Addo and Ofori Atta were on his neck to ensure that Ato Forson would be prosecuted and convicted so that there would be a by-election. And you know, that's a parliament that had the 138, and then Siama, the Kwabena MP, had to work with the MPP. Then they got they got a very small, minuscule majority, right? So if there had been that by-election, then they would do a lot of machinations to get that seat too, right? So that is the record that Ofori Atta has built for himself. So because he knows he's done a lot of wrong, that is why he's afraid. That's why. Look at the banking licenses. Apart from, look at the untold hardships. Look at how he ran down state insurance, SIC. A lot of the businesses from SIC were hived off and given to his insurance company, Enterprise. Enterprise Insurance, state insurance, they were crying. They would see you and say, cancel. Munkebi Maye. All the businesses were now being diverted from state insurance to Enterprise. We borrow, then Ofori Atta's company makes money. The bonds. Ghana borrows, then Ofori Atta's company makes money. So that's Akufo Addo and his family becoming rich. That is the legacy he left behind. Please, I'm saying it. Okay. Look, Mr. could be when you have your time, say yours. You can't gaggle me. Every time be careful. I would never. Just know that you and I are different.
Okay, hold on.
Stop. Every time you want to moderate.
Hold on.
No, I'm not. No, I just want you to know that he can never change me.
Make your point.
No, he's not coming. I just want you to know that he can never change me. You are called Apia Kubi. I'm called Pebu. The two names are the same.
Hold on.
Yes, but not when I'm making my point. No, there's nothing. Yeah, so I'm saying Ghana borrows, then Data Bank make their cut. Ghana borrows, then Data Bank makes their cut, the bonds. So there was an incentive to keep borrowing, no matter how the money was used. Yeah? And then in no time, we became debt-ridden. So these are the things that are driving his fears. He knows the mess he created. Look at the bonds, the haircuts. Look at the pensioners who died. Look at Kama, Dr. Agyapong. Agyapong was crying, Kama Health, etc. Look at the people who died. So he is scared because of his own negative legacy, not what anybody will do. That Keke Kabubu song, maybe we should play it. Oh, the boy, you know it, right? Running away, so he knows what he's done. That's why he's running away. Please don't put this on any other person. Look, we live in Ghana. Some months ago, when the state took Abronye, very vituperous in his utterances, he would insult everybody. Yet, when the law, the way they treated him was against law, I stood up. Domlevo also stood up. Look at Domlevo. Very good. So that is it. That's our society. And yes. So where is Ofori Atta's fear? Let's start this in. A year ago, when Ofori Atta left, at that time, I didn't know he was deceiving us, and I didn't know Kisi Agyapong saw him leave. If you play back the tape, I was against the OSP for what they were doing, because I said, the man informed the state agencies that he's going for medical checkup. What's your business with this? Check. Let's play back. You see how I defended Ofori Atta. So I think if today Ofori Atta comes back and the state keeps him beyond 48 hours, I'll not talk for Ofori Atta. I'll do that. I stood up for Abronye. Meanwhile, we all know how Abronye, people were calling me on that side. Abronye is insulting IGP. He's insulted President Mahama. All that. And you see, Kwachi Fosu, minister, you see, he didn't even, he risked his position because the party works will say.
I publicly disagreed with the judge and demanded his immediate release.
Exactly. Yes, I think we're here.
We rein in excesses by security agencies.
Thank you. So our society is changed. So me talking today, if Ofori Atta were to come today and were to keep him, even we don't have to wait for a 48 hours to elapse. So in the Pebu number 4, verse Attorney General number 4, so for Ekufu's valedictory judgment, what she said and what the Supreme Court unanimously, that the moment it becomes clear to you that you don't want to admit the person to bail within the 48 hours, start going to the court. Don't wait. The law is not that wait for 48 hours to expire. Yeah. So if Ofori Atta, this is the promise, the pledge I'm making. Ofori Atta comes, look, from the first hour, and this is how it shows you how our democracy is growing. We would be here, Facebook, TV3, monitoring. Yes, OSP, are you admitting him to bail? If you are not, what steps are you taking? Are we going to court? We will make sure that Ofori Atta would enter court before the 48 hours if they will not admit him to bail. Ghana is changed. I mean, how? I can't come and sit here and say because of the things he's done, they should keep him. No. So this is fears. They are unfounded if they are based on what others will do. Rather, I think it is the negative legacy he has built, the way he's enriched his family at the expense of the state. That is what is haunting him. That is what is haunting him. He now knows that Ato Forson occupies his seat. The Ato Forson, he's on tape to have told Godfrey Dami said on tape that Ofori Atta was saying that he should pursue Ato Forson by hook or by crook, etc. That is what is haunting him. The bonds, the Ken bonds, Franklin Templeton, the Ghana borrows, then the Akufo Addo's family makes money. That is what is killing him. Not Ghanaians. We would not do anything like that. So he should come and face the music. And then let's repeat this story. You know the part about he refusing to see Ambassador Smith. I mentioned it last week briefly. Let's go over it. You know there's this joke. When Reagan was shot in 1981, Reagan, that's ex-president of the United States, whilst they were taking him to do surgery, on their way to the theater, he stopped and then he asked the doctors that, hey, I hope you are all Republicans. The lead doctor was a known Democrat, very popular, Joseph Giordani. I mean, forgive my accent. I don't. It sounds like Italian or that. So the man was an obvious, a very popular surgeon. He said, Mr. President, today we are all Republicans, but he was a Democrat. So my point is that Ambassador Smith, the fact that Ofori Atta doesn't want to see you is because you're of different political persuasions. So he's scared that if his data gets you, not that you leak it, but he's just scared that something will go wrong. So Ofori Atta is not the first to attempt to refuse help from a political opponent.
But then it depends on the kind of help. Mr. Smith, is it not? I mean, it's protocol that you were following. And
yes, it was a protocol, but at the same time, whilst you're with him, he may express something he would wish would be done for him, whichever way. I was going to go and listen to him and then maybe share it with the government.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to discuss the merits of his case at all. It was his person and his well-being.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I get it. I understand. We all know, but generally, sometimes it gets to certain situations, right? Kofi and the rest, and Kwaku Annan is in PR, he will tell you he's the president's spokesperson. There are certain times, even some questions, the comment, when they ask you a question and you don't want to say anything, if you say no comment, even no comment itself can lead...
It's a major headline.
Exactly. So sometimes when they pose the question, depending on how sensitive it is, you just walk away. You won't say no comment. So Ambassador Smith, his fears are well-founded. I mean, he's human. You can't take his fears away from him, right? That's just to put that in perspective so that those say, no, he should have allowed Ambassador Smith to come. No, that is how he feels. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Let's leave that one at that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.